Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the live lecture of functional analysis. In the last lecture, we have started our unit number 1, Banach spaces, and under that heading, we have discussed some basic concepts such as ring, field, what is an internal composition, what is external composition, what is a vector space or a linear space, and then we moved on to knowing what is the metric function. Metric function is basically a distance function. Therefore, we have just tried to bind the concept of distance in terms of mathematical conditions or mathematical language. Therefore, metric function is defined to be a function on x cross x, two set of all real numbers satisfying the four conditions. What the first and second condition ensures? First and second condition ensures that the function is a non-negative function. Therefore, combinedly the first two conditions represents non-negativity. Third condition is symmetry. Distance taken from x to y is exactly equal to distance from y to x. And last one is triangular inequality. We have discussed this concept also in detail. Right? This is what an explanation I have given for the concept of triangular inequality. Then we have seen some examples also that under a usual metric, every set is a metric space. What is a usual metric? Usual metric is actually a modulus function. That is the modulus of difference between the two elements is actually the usual matrix. This we have discussed on R2 and on R3 also. I think this is a question I have asked. How the distance between the 2 points on R2 space can be calculated by the distance formula. Whether anyone has gone through this? Whether anyone tried to search how this distance formula came? I think this was also a question, no? The distance between the 2 points, if I define like this on an R2 space, then how you are going to calculate the distance between the two elements? Is the question I have asked in the last lecture, I think. Right, no? Yes? Whether anyone searched for the answers? At least try to search. Hello? Please respond me so that I can know all of you are there in this live lecture. Yes, students? I hope I am clearly audible. Hello? Audible or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you not responding today then? Hmm? Okay, it means that no one has seen how this concept came. Okay, again I will give you a 1 day time to search on this. Today we will move ahead towards what is a metric space. Metric function we have seen, no? Then what is a metric space? Yes, can anyone tell me what is a metric space? Metric space. Hmm? May I write a definition? A non-empty set X together with metric D. Metric D defined on X. Defined on X is called metric space. Is called metric space. What is the meaning of together with the metric? Set together with the metric. Or the metric is imposed on this set X. Hmm? This is denoted by in the bracket x comma d. Okay. The actual meaning of the set x together with the metric d is very simple. Whatever is the set we were going to consider. Okay. This set in this set we were finding the distance between the two elements with the help of this defined metric. whatever the metric we have defined now. Okay, any distance between any two elements in this set is being calculated with the help of this metric, is called as a metric space. Okay, now we will go towards the next definition of norm linear space. Before that, we should see what is a norm function. What is a norm function? All of you are familiar with the norm function already. Okay. If let us define this symbol norm. Let us define this. Let us use this as a symbol defined on any vector space n from either R to C, which satisfy following conditions. Following conditions, right? What are the conditions? First condition of the norm function is norm x is greater equal by 0. Second condition is norm x equal to 0 implies and implied by x is equal to 0. Number 3, norm of x plus y is less than or equals to norm of x plus norm of y. Norm of x plus norm of y, and condition number 4 is norm of alpha x is equals to mod of alpha into norm of x, where alpha the, or I can write alpha is a scalar, right? This is the scalar. Then this is the function, then this norm function is called norm. Norm defined on capital N. This is what a textbook definition we have. This is what a textbook definition we have. Okay. First thing, this norm is a generalization of a distance function. Okay. I think all of you are agree up to this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will try to understand how it is a generalization and how those 4 conditions gives us the generalization and the geometrical interpretation of every condition. First thing, why the symbol is used like this, double bar, right? Double vertical bars are used. Actually, previously we have used this symbol of modulus, right? In order to find out the shortest distance. Correct, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whatever is this symbol is actually a very limited concept of finding the distance between the 2 points. Therefore, if I want to generalize this, what it was taken, you just repeat one more vertical bars. So that this vertical bar, double vertical bar, suggests that this is the generalization of modulus function. This is the generalization of the modulus function. Is the point clear? Why double vertical bars? Now, we will go one by one understanding the interpretation of every condition. First thing, this norm, whatever is the function, it is not defined on the Cartesian product. As of we have defined on the Cartesian product for metric. Right now, this x, whatever is the function, metric function, metric is a real valued function defined on what? X cross x, right now. X cross x means what? We were defining this on a 2-tuple vector. Correct now? We were defining this on a 2-tuple vector. Distance between x and y. But here, whether we have defined this on a Cartesian product? No.
No, ma'am.
We have defined this on a set, on a vector space n only. On a vector space n only. So whatever norm x we were writing, what this norm x suggests then? No doubt this is the distance, but distance between what? Okay, so actually I can write this as distance of norm of x minus 0, no? So this actually gives us the distance between a vector x and origin. Right now, 0 is a vector, x is a vector belonging to the corresponding space n, right? Therefore, if I want to show this in an R2 space, if n is my two-dimensional real space and this is a vector x, say, then here it is my 0, that is origin, no? What this norm x suggests? Norm x suggests, let me show denote it again with the shortest distance. Therefore, this norm x gives us the distance between a vector and origin. Okay? That of in metric spaces b, x and y. We were finding a distance between two vectors x and y. But here by default, if I write norm x, by default we were finding a distance of a vector x from the origin. Okay? Distance of vector x from origin. This is also called as a length of a vector. This is also called as size of a vector. Okay? Getting me? Length of a vector, size of a vector. This is not only the way to find out the distance between 0 and x. One can go with any path. This is also one of the paths. This may be another path. Right? This may be another path. There are many paths to reach from the point origin to x. Now we were generalizing this as a metric to norm. Okay, but as this is giving me the distance of a vector x from the origin, according to distance function, what should be the value? The value should be
Non-negative.
non-negative, right? Either 0, the length is either 0 or greater than 0, positive or 0. Okay, understood the meaning of first condition? Let us come to the
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
Norm x equal to 0. What it means actually, whatever is this vector we have written here, okay, we have plotted a vector x here. Whatever is the distance, if I show again by the shortest distance, this distance is 0. What is the meaning? We were forcing or we were shifting this vector x towards 0, na? So that the length goes on decreasing and finally the length will become 0. Correct now? It is coming towards 0 and finally the length becomes 0. When the length will become 0, if the point or the vector x coincides with origin, then and then only the length between the two vectors becomes 0. Yes or no?
Yes,
Norm
ma'am.
x
Yes, ma'am.
equal to 0 will imply x equal to 0. Why? Because as of I am decreasing a distance between 0 and x, the vector will give you origin itself when the distance becomes 0. Let us think reverse. X is equal to 0. What is the distance then? The vector x
0.
itself is 0. Then what is the distance between x and 0? Distance is 0. This is the condition of non-negativity. Right? This is what the meaning of your second condition. Right? Let us come to the third condition. Norm of x plus y less than or equals to norm x plus norm y. First, we have to see what is the position of norm x plus y. I am showing everything in 2D space for the sake of understanding only. Okay. Suppose this is a vector x. Somewhere here it is y. Right? This is x. This is y. We were interested in finding norm of x plus y. This is 0. Can anyone show me the location of x plus y on this R2 space? Where will be the location of x plus y vector?
Between x and y.
How between x and y? Should I join this x and y together? And should I have to plot it somewhere on the line joining? Okay. Should I join this x with y? And that x plus y will occur somewhere on that line joining. Is it so? I think you have studied this norm function previously, no? You should know what is the meaning of this norm of x plus y. If not, at least try to answer my basic question so that I can explain it. Where is the position of x plus y, x minus y vector calculus 12 standard? I hope everyone is listening me very carefully.
Ma'am, in between x and y, there is x plus y.
हा मी तेच विचारतीये मी एक्स अँड वाय ची लाईन जॉईन करू का?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
मग तेच विचारते मी काय करू मग एक्स प्लस वाय मला दाखवायचं आहे ना आता.
एक्स आणि वायच्या मध्ये ओरिजिन पासून घ्यायचं.
कसं घेऊ? कुठे घेऊ सांग ओरिजिन. हे असं तर तुम्ही नाही म्हणताय मला. Is it like this? No.
Ma'am, on the line somewhere it is at point.
कुठली लाईन कुठे काढू? या स्टुडंट्स काय माहिती मला. Okay, x to find out the position of the vector x plus y, first we have to complete this parallelogram. Okay, we have to draw a line parallel to y vector, we have to draw a line parallel to x vector as well, and then we have to complete the parallelogram. And once we complete the parallelogram, whatever is the end point we get, it will be the location of your vector x plus y, and this will be my line x plus y. This will be my line x plus y. Therefore, what is norm x plus y? Here it is norm x. Again, for the sake of convenience, I am showing by the shortest line, shortest distance. This is norm of x plus y. Is it okay? Now check out what is the distance between these two. Okay. If you plot it actually on a 2D plane, you will understand that norm of x plus y is less equal by norm x and norm y. You can take by an example also. Let us take an example. Or I request you to just go through it. This is what a position actually. Okay. And then this norm of x plus y is less and equal by norm x plus norm y. This is what an interpretation of your third condition. Let us come to the fourth one. Norm of alpha x. Now first we have to show if x is a vector somewhere on a 2D plane, then where is the position of your vector alpha x? This you have to understand first, right? Suppose this is a vector x, somewhere here it is. X. Okay. Now you have to tell me where will be the location of alpha x? Where should
On
I
the
show?
same line extending.
Yes, it is on the line extended. Okay. Extended forward, extended backward also. Why both possibilities I am telling? Because if your alpha is positive,
Depends on alpha.
Yeah, it depends on alpha. If alpha positive, it will be on the line extended forward. If alpha negative, it is on the line extended on the backward position as per the sign conventions, right? Now, suppose alpha is 1. Suppose alpha is 1. What is the value of alpha x?
X.
X itself, right? If alpha is 2, where is the location? Here it is twice the vector x, no? This is 2x, right? No. Somewhere here it is 3x, correct? No? These are the positions. And this is actually in back minus x, minus 2x and so on. Depends on the values of alpha, right? Now what the condition tells us? Norm of alpha x is mod of alpha into norm of x. let us try to understand what is the value of your left hand side. What is the value of left hand side? This is length of a vector alpha x from origin. Correct now? That is this total length actually from 0 to, suppose I am taking alpha equal to 3. Then this is the length actually 0 to 3x. Correct now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us think of right hand side. What this condition tells me? This is mod 3 into norm of x. Mod 3, since I have taken alpha positive, therefore this is 3 times norm of x. What is the meaning of 3 times norm of x? Whatever is the length norm of x, the length is taken 3 times. Right now? See, this is norm x once. This is norm x taken twice. This is norm x taken thrice. Okay. Therefore, what the condition ensures, length of a vector 3x is 3 times length of a vector x. Getting me? Length of a
Yes,
vector 3x is 3 times length of a vector norm x. Here I have shown this is once, twice and thrice. Same happens for the length for any value of alpha scalar, real scalar. Okay. In the metric definition, whether you are getting the scalar multiple length of a scalar multiple of a vector,
No, ma'am.
this condition is not available in the metric spaces. This was being generalized as a norm function. Okay. Understood the meaning of fourth condition as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Therefore, the function norm which satisfies all the 4 conditions is called as a norm. Okay. Norm is the generalization of a metric. Norm is a generalization of a metric. Which condition is added extra? The scalar multiple condition is added extra. Okay. Now our natural question arises, what is the relation between metric space and norm linear space? Right now? Before that, let me write a definition of a normed linear space. What is normed linear space then? Yes, as of we have defined a metric space, no? Let N be a linear space over R or over F, I can write over a field here. Okay, the nor is a norm function on capital N, then N is called normed linear space. I'll write shortcut now. Normed linear space denoted by N norm. Or you can say a vector space N together with norm. Okay, then this symbol also called as a norm, right? The metric space and together with norm is called non-linear space. What is the meaning what is the meaning of vector space N together with norm? A vector space N in which distance between origin and a vector, that is length of a vector or size of a vector, is found with this formula of norm. Then it is called as a normed linear space. Is the point clear?
Yes, ma'am.
With geometrical interpretation as well?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now what we will do, we will just recall some basic definitions such as convergence, Cauchy sequence, etc. in the normed linear spaces. Actually, we have seen all those definitions in the Euclidean space, assuming modulus as the distance between the 2 points. Now, as of we were generalizing that modulus to metric, metric to norm, we have to recall or revise those definitions. So for the first definition, I will write regarding the convergence of a sequence, right? What to do? Simply modulus we will replace with norm. Nothing to worry about the revision. Okay. Convergence of a sequence. Okay, let me write. Let n norm be a normed linear space. A sequence xn in n is said to converge to an element x in n. Yes, you should take my definition. If for given x long greater than 0, there exists a positive integer n naught such that. What such that? Yes. What is the definition in real space we have defined? Euclidean space.
Mod Sn minus x less than epsilon. Here
Very
we
good.
write norm Sn minus x less than epsilon.
Yes, norm of xn minus x less than epsilon for all n greater equal by n naught. Understood the change? What a simple change we have made. We have replaced that modulus by norm because we were now in the normed linear spaces. This is what the first definition. The same definition I will write regarding the Cauchy sequence as well. Okay, let or a sequence xn in a normed linear space n is called Cauchy sequence. Is called Cauchy sequence if for given x longer than 0 there exists what there exists again? A positive integer or natural number. No, one and the same thing. Natural number n naught such that. What such that? Norm of xn minus xm less than epsilon for all mn greater equal by n naught. Is it okay? I have recalled the definition of convergence and Cauchy sequence. Okay. What about completeness? Complete non-linear space I will take. What is completeness definition? Someone has started this discussion at the first lectures, I think, completeness property.
If every Cauchy sequence is convergent.
Very good. The same definition I will write. A normed linear space, capital N, is said to be complete if every Cauchy sequence in N converges to an element of N. Right now? That is, what that is? If norm of xn minus xm converges to 0 as mn tends to infinity. I think you can relate these two statements very clearly, that both have same meaning, right now? Either I can write norm less than epsilon, or I can write norm tends to 0 as mn tends to infinity. Then there exists x in n such that, what such that? Norm of xn minus x tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. The first definition gives us the sequence is Cauchy. The second definition gives that the sequence is convergent. If a Cauchy sequence is convergent, then it is called as the complete space. Okay. Any difficulty up to this?
No.
Okay. Now what we will do? We will go for understanding the relation between metric space and a normed linear space. And the first concept we were proving that every normed linear space is a metric space as of my first theorem. Every normed linear space is metric space. Now the question arises about the converse of the statement. No? What is the converse of the statement? Every metric space is normed linear space, right? No? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will prove that every nonlinear space is a metric, but every metric need not be nonlinear space. What I have to do to prove that the converse is not true?
Scalar multiplication condition, please.
No, my question is, what I have to do in order to prove that the converse is not true? I have to just give one counter example, no? That the metric space is not nonlinear space. Correct? Okay, before that, let us go for this first. Proving every normed linear space is a metric space. Or in other words, one can write, let V be a normed linear space. Define a metric d of xy is equal to norm of x minus y for all xy in the corresponding vector space. Then prove that. What to prove? VD is a metric space. Correct? What is given to us? Norm linear space is given to us, and what it is asked to prove? It is a metric space asked to prove. Okay. So for which conditions we can use? We can use the conditions of norm functions, and we have to prove the conditions of metric function. Correct? We will verify the four conditions of metric function by using conditions of norm function. I hope everyone is getting it. Okay, let us prove one by one. What the first condition of metric I should prove?
Non-negative.
Yes, non-negative. D of xy is non-negative. Consider. What is d of xy given to us? Norm of xy. But norm of xy minus x minus y itself is non-negative. Which condition we have used?
First condition of non-linear.
Yes, norm. Okay. Next, what should I prove? D of xy
Equal to 0 equal to 0, x equal to y.
Implies and implied by x is equal to y. Consider. I will start with d of xy equal to 0. According to my definition, is it norm of x minus y equal to 0?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
but what is norm of x minus y equal to 0? Which condition now? Second condition. Now norm x equal to 0 implies and implied by x is equal. If it gives you x is equal to, right? Second condition verified. Third condition. multiplicity I have to prove, right? Consider norm of, d of xy. Consider d of xy. What it is? Norm of x minus y. Now we have to prove it is y, distance from y to distance of y from x. Therefore, what I will do, I will just change the positions. How can I change the positions? I will take negative common. This is norm of y minus x. Now this is actually a scalar, minus 1 into y minus x, right now. Now which condition I should use in order to solve this? Fourth
Fourth
condition.
condition.
What fourth condition says? Take this scalar out with modulus. What is this value of modulus of the scalar minus 1?
Plus 1.
Plus
D
1.
of y.
Therefore, is it d of yx? Third condition verified. Let us go for fourth condition. What to prove in the fourth condition? D of xy is less equal by d of xz plus d of zy. Correct now? Let me consider again the left hand side. D of x comma y. How we have defined this? Norm of x minus y. I have to introduce the third vector z here. So what I will do, I will make an adjustment x minus z plus z minus y. Added and subtracted z. Okay. Now let me use the triangular equality property of this norm over these two vectors. Therefore, what can I write here? Less than or equal to norm of by third condition. Here I forgot to write the reset. By fourth condition. Either you write by fourth condition or you can write the condition itself. Here you can write like this, or norm of alpha x is equals to mod alpha into norm of. You can write the statement of that condition also. Okay. Now what this first norm gives us? Distance of x to z plus distance of z to y. And the fourth condition is also proved. Therefore, can I write all conditions of metric function are satisfied? Hence, d of xy equal to norm of x minus y is a metric on n. If it is a metric, what this n is a metric space, right now. What is the symbol n or v I have used? Sorry, it's v. Here I will write v. Here also it is v. Therefore, can I write Vd is a metric space? Okay. That is, every norm space is metric space. Okay. And whatever is this metric, this is called as a metric induced by norm. Okay. This metric is called metric induced by norm. Induced means it is just like constructed, right? This is a metric constructed with the help of a norm function. But as of you define norms, that many metrics you can define on the corresponding space. Okay? Any difficulty?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now let me write remark. Converse need not be true. Converse of above statement need not be true. Need not be true. That is, every, yes,
Metric space need not be norm space.
Need not be non-linear space. For example, I have to produce one example as I told you. No? Let us produce one counter example. Here S is the set of all sequences of R or C, real numbers or complex number, and we were going to define this metric on this set S as summation I running from 1 to infinity 1 upon 2 raised to I mod of xi minus yi upon 1 plus mod of xi minus y. This is a metric. Okay, you have to check it is whether it is a metric or not. Let us verify the conditions orally. First condition, non-negativity, whether the right hand side is non-negative or not. If you observe on the right hand side, we are involved with modulus, and we know modulus is always non-negative. Numerator is non-negative, denominator is non-negative. Therefore, the total term together 1 upon 2 raised to I is no doubt non-negative. Therefore, this is actually a non-negative term. What about sum of non-negative terms?
Non-negative.
Non-negative. The first condition, can I say it's true? This D is
Yes,
non-negative. Let us verify the second. D of xy equal to 0. You have to prove it is implies and implied by x equal to 1. If this is 0, let us shift. If the sum of non-negative terms is 0, what about every term involved in the summation? Sum of non-negative terms is 0.
every
Then,
term will be 0.
Yes, every term is 0. Let us equate this term to 0. 1 upon 2 raised to I can shift to right. Denominator also I can shift to right. What we remains with? Mod of xi minus yi equal to 0. What this implies to us then? Whether it is xi equal to yi for all I?
Yes, ma'am.
For all
Yes,
I means x is equal to y. Second condition verified. Let us verify the third condition, symmetricity. If I replace xi and yi, whether is there any effect on the distance?
No, ma'am.
Because we are in the modulus, right now. Therefore, symmetricity holds. Fourth also holds because we know that for modulus, mod of xi plus yi is less equal by mod xi plus mod yi. This we know. And using this, one can say triangular inequality regarding the metric is also true. Therefore, here one can say that clearly this SD is a metric space. SD is a metric space. Now we have to show that whether it is a norm space or not. Is it normed linear space? Okay. Now, first, second, third we will not verify. We will go directly for the fourth condition. Okay, of NOR. What is the fourth condition of NOR? Norm alpha x. Yes, we will try to verify this condition. Before that, as of I have to go for metric to NOR, first let me verify the distance between x and 0. What will be a distance between x and 0? Is it simply, I have to put y as 0, na? Is it mod xi upon 1 plus mod xi? Right now? This is d of x0, which is actually norm of x. Right? Then what is norm of alpha x? Wherever x is there, we will replace it by alpha. 1 upon 2 raised to I as it is. This will be mod alpha xi, and this is 1 plus mod alpha xi. We can take mod alpha out from the numerator. Can you take mod alpha out from the denominator? Because finally our aim is to check this condition, no? Mod alpha should be taken out throughout, right? Out of the summation you have to take. Can you take out this mod alpha from the denominator?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not possible. Therefore, clearly this norm of alpha x is not equal to mod of alpha into norm of x. Therefore, I can write SD is not normed linear space. We have seen one example in which metric space is not a nonlinear space, but by theorem we have proved that every nonlinear space is a metric space. Now my question is, which space is bigger? Metric space is bigger or nonlinear space is bigger?
Norm
Non
says
space is bigger.
Yes? Nonlinear space is bigger? Hello? Can you please repeat? Which space is bigger one?
metric space is bigger.
Metric space is bigger.
Ah. Someone is saying nonlinear space is bigger, no? Now you have to remember this sketch. Okay. The topmost space I will write as a topological space. Topology you have completed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we can prove that every metric is a topology. Therefore, this is a metric space. Just now we have proved every nonlinear space is metric space. Therefore, this is nonlinear space. Okay. And one more we were going to see is inner product spaces. Inner product that will be coming into the discussion in the second topic. But let me explain. This is the small one. Every nonlinear space is metric, but there are some metric spaces which are not nonlinear spaces. Therefore, nonlinear spaces is a subset of metric spaces. Metric spaces is a subset of topological space because every metric is a topology, but not every topology is a metric. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Let us stop for today. If you have any difficulty in today's lecture, you can unmute yourself and ask me. We have seen only some 2-3 definitions in nonlinear spaces. First, we have seen what is the concept of norm. See, understanding this concept is important. You may forget 1 or 2 theorems, not a big deal. But you are not allowed to forget the concepts, the basic definitions, the meaning of every condition used in the definition. Right? If you have still doubt, you can ask me. Actually, I told you why double bar also. Because single bar we have used for modulus. Modulus is a representation. This is used for finding the distance between the two vectors. But now we were generalizing this. That's why we have given, instead of single bar, we have given double vertical bars. This is what I can do. Right? And I have tried to explain the meaning of every condition also. Yes, if you have any difficulty, you can unmute and ask. It seems there are no difficulties. Let me stop for today. Thank you for being with me for this lecture.